All right, so for those watching, we are going to talk to Kristen today. She's going to give us a quick rundown of her experience, working inside with the team, her experience in the program. So, Kristen, go ahead, give us an idea. What do you do for work and where are you located at?
I am located in Northern Vermont and I have multiple jobs.
Yeah.
I'm an investment and trading specialist by day, police, fire, and EMS dispatcher by night. So I work, at least one, if not two, like 16-hour days a week, on top
Mm,
of, being a mom and building a new house.
yeah. So, always stress all the time and just never ends.
No, never.
All right. So, coming into the program, have you tried anything before? Like, I remember you mentioning too stuff about like food and, having issues in the past with,
Mhm.
more restrictive things. Like, have you tried anything before you came in and worked with us?
So, in terms of like exercise, yes, I was part of Beachbody for several
Uh,
years. Um, and it was nice to have that
yeah.
flexibility and do it all at home, but it got boring after a while.
Yeah.
I had multiple gym memberships, but
Mm,
I never really had anybody to keep me accountable. So I just
mm,
kind of stopped going.
yeah.
And in terms of like my nutrition, because I do struggle with an eating disorder, I have seen, doctors, dietitians, nutritionists, and nobody's been able to help me. I even went as far as trying like hypnotherapy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And nothing so far was like, hey, you don't have to do anything crazy with your nutrition.
No, not really.
Yeah, I know. Even with like dietitians and nutritionists, they're very strict on like you
Mm,
have to eat these types of foods. And we were talking before, like we've seen a lot of people come through, and either it's like cultural or the texture or anything like that. Like you shouldn't have to force people to do something they don't want to. And that's not really our MO over here. It's more so like teaching you to start
mhm.
manipulating the foods you're already eating, so that way at the end of the day you can still feel comfortable with how what feels good to you. So
And that's
um
what's been super beneficial is being able to work around the things that I do eat.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of how it should be. I know there are a lot of rules in fitness, it feels like sometimes. And I always tell people like it's okay to break the rules and just do it a way that's gonna work for you ultimately. So what were you kind of say too is your goal when you jumped in?
Definitely some weight loss.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I mean, building muscle.
Yeah.
I like doing Spartan races. I am,
Hmm.
no athlete by any means, but
Yeah.
I was really hoping to, increase my like strength and stamina so that when I
Okay.
do my next one, which I mean, at this point isn't until June of next year, but I'll be much more
Yeah.
prepared.
Good. Yeah, so say how do you feel strength wise? After like, Coach Casey's been like doing your programming, feeling a little bit better.
Definitely. I mean, I can't believe how far I've actually come since I
Yeah.
started. I could barely lift, 5-pound weights.
Wow. What are you lifting now?
Depending on the exercise, if we're talking like um, chest presses, I went from like 10 pounds to I think I was just pushing like 30s
Get
yesterday.
it. See? And that's another thing too. I know we talked about weight loss, like because the scale like ticked up a little bit. But you lost some inches in the process, which is good.
Mhm.
But you're also lifting a lot heavier. And that's something too, like I kind of want to touch on with a lot of women that if they are watching is it's okay to see the scale go up a little bit in order for it to go back down eventually. And you were a little bit, which is weird because you're like, I didn't feel like I was an undereater, but like kind of under
Yeah.
eating for a really long time. So, like, our process, what might feel like sometimes it feels like taking steps back on nutrition to get the weight loss to start actually being consistent. But once that happens, I tell people like it becomes super easy to lose weight once you kind of fix like those gaps that you've been having with the
Mhm.
nutrition. So that's huge. Like you're gonna go through one of those races the next summer. You're like, oh, this was easy. I feel so much better.
I mean, that's
Especially
kind
with
of what I'm going for.
yeah, especially with eating more food, it makes all the difference. It really does.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I
yeah.
did one in September and
Oh, cool.
I, I mean, that was still maybe halfway through the program,
Mm-hmm.
but I already had felt
Felt better.
pretty, pretty good about it, actually.
Good.
Conquered some obstacles I hadn't been able to do in previous years.
Hey, look at you. You can't come on. I mean, it really is. It's a different feeling when you feel get stronger.
Hmm.
I always tell people like losing the weight, it's nice, but gaining strength is, what sometimes a lot better. You're like, I feel so
Yeah.
much better.
Yes.
So yeah, so for you too, like what made you decide to do a coaching program? Because you tried some stuff. You did the Beachbody, which they kind of give you a coach, kind of. Um, was there something that you wanted to get out of it or learn, or you just feel like you were kind of lost with anything?
I mean, I was feeling pretty like discouraged, and
Okay.
I honestly don't totally remember. I think I was just like scrolling through Facebook, and somebody that I know, she has um, a coach. I think it's kind of local to
Oh,
us.
okay.
She's essentially like a bodybuilder, and I was like, I don't
Mm,
know, so that's
yeah.
quite my thing. But I was like, oh, what is this? And so then I was like looking into your website and
Yeah.
everything. I'm like, this is way more up my alley.
Yeah, because it's more so, I always tell people with the bodybuilding coaches, you surprisingly lose a lot of strength. I will never forget. I've actually had family that done it, but you lose a ton of strength in the process. You look good,
Mhm.
but it's only for a short amount of time. Um, Especially with your jobs and stuff like that, you want to make sure you can kind of hold your own when it
I'm
comes
looking
to
for,
doing
yeah,
them.
the sustainability essentially.
Yeah, which is always good. And how'd you feel about like the value inside, coming in? I know you had Coach Casey in your corner and keeping you accountable, but anything with like an education or anything like that?
I thought your like portal full of
Mm,
information was super helpful, especially when I was
okay.
getting started and I felt very overwhelmed. I had never counted
Yeah.
macros before. I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay,
So,
perfect. Yeah, I mean that's always a big part of it too, and you always have access to that, which is nice. It
mhm.
never goes away. So
And
anything
then like
yeah.
Casey definitely in the early stages helped walk me through and um, you know, try to be like, oh, you could tweak this or tweak that.
Hmm.
And so that was helpful when I was first getting started.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a lot at first, you're stepping into something brand new. Plus you have a lot going on in your life, you know what I mean? Like between all the work and you're going back to school and building a house.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that were all new, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And with my son being really sick and in the hospital, and that kind
Hmm.
of threw a wrench in
Yeah.
my one of the weeks that I had, but I
Yeah.
just, you know, picked
Kept
up,
trucking along.
yep, picked it right back
Yeah.
up when I got home.
Perfect. And I guess for you too, did you feel like it helped you, like being inside? Did it help you anywhere else in maybe areas of your life that you didn't really anticipate when you first jumped in?
Um, Not that I didn't anticipate,
Okay.
but I already know, when I exercise mentally and emotionally, I feel so much
Hmm.
better.
Yeah.
And really, it was just having the accountability and somebody to, kind of push me along and help me, get it done.
Yeah.
It's done,
Awesome.
wonders for me.
That's perfect. And I have my last question for you, and then I'll stop drilling you. No, I'm kidding. What would you give somebody in terms of advice? Like if they were maybe on the fence, maybe, I know we talked about it before with online stuff, but what would you kind of say to someone that might be on the fence about jumping in, whether it's this program or just I guess like any program out there, you know what I mean?
Honestly, it's an investment. Like
Mm-hmm.
it seems like, oh, maybe this might be a lot of money, but you're investing in yourself long term.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for sustainability down the road. And it's been a blessing to have you guys in our, in our corner and be there
Yeah.
when we have questions.
Perfect.
So I
Well,
guess my
like
advice would be to just do it.
yeah, that's all you can really tell people. I mean, I've had a lot of these client interviews come through, and that's usually what most people say is just do it because you can keep putting it off, you can keep waiting, you can keep trying.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I know we talked about things too. It's just kind of laying things out for you so you guys can see the data. You know what's going to be
Mhm.
working, where you need to improve, where those gaps are, so that way you know how to continue forward. And then also to like not get discouraged when you're trying to do stuff on your own, because that's another thing too, is like sometimes our job as coaches is just to kind of pull you back in and be like, hey, this is why we're doing this. This is why this is happening. And this is where it's going to lead you to. So you can go, okay, I gotcha. Just from seeing all that. But again, thanks for jumping in. Thanks for trusting the process. Thanks for
Thank
jumping on
you.
this interview with me. And if anyone is watching and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we'll point you in the right direction.